Shalom, Yashrala. This your brother WW3 from GMS Tampa Bay 07, coming at you with this here truth again. First and foremost, I want to give all praise unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakah, Quadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that taught me this truth and that rule well. And salutation and much love for you, Akim, pushing this truth and sincerity on the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions. All right, last little video, part of this little lesson, we kind of got sidetracked, by the spirit. Spirit kind of just branched off and had another little lesson planned, but it's all through the spirit, and it still all ties into to this, just speaking on how blessed your eyes are to be able to see these things, go from the news stories straight into the scriptures and just break it on down. All right, so here we're gonna read, continuing on in our lessons, we're gonna read Jeremiah chapter 50, and we're gonna jump around a little bit in here. But nevertheless, so far we've read in the news articles about how the Philippines wants to buy submarines from Russia, and America's mad about that. And the Philippines is like, yo, how you tripping? This our shit. India trying to buy the S-400. America mad about that, but they buying anyway. Turkey, they want to buy the S-400, and they about to get the S-400 anyway. Despite America's request not to, and to buy the F-35 fighter. All right, and so and then there was another little news story about how the F-35 fighter, they had a crash landing or emergency landing in here in Florida today, So just to show you the how do I say, the weaknesses and the flaws in that damn plane that America's trying to force on people. But nevertheless, we read those articles, and then we read into the scriptures, in the book of Ezekiel chapter 38 about how Russia was going to be a guardian to these other nations, all right? And they was going to basically come up against America in World War III, all right? And so from there we went to the book of Isaiah chapter 14, where these other nations was basically, I gave the analogy like you falling off a skateboard in slow motion, But before that, you like, oh, I'm the illest nigga, I ain't gonna never fall, I'm the shit, blah, blah, blah. And you falling in slow motion around a big crowd, and they just seeing you, falling in slow motion, and they just start talking shit like, look at him, thought he wasn't gonna never fall, And that was, basically like in the book of Isaiah chapter 14, art thou become as weak as us? And how art Lucifer, how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning, is this the man which did weakest the nations, which destroyed the whole earth, calling America out on their bullshit as they, they have to take that walk of shame, But here we're gonna get into basically what Russia's gonna wind up doing with those weapons that, they wind up, like the scripture in Ezekiel 38 say, prepare thyself and thy company that's with thee. All right. And that's what we were reading in the articles and in prior articles and updates that I did, in prior videos where, went into how Russia is bringing out new weapons, new technology, the nuclear powered missiles and cruise missiles. And they're coming out with the S-500 Prometheus system. They also coming out with, what is that other thing called? Hypersonic missiles, you know what I'm saying? They got all kind of new stuff coming out, so they preparing their self with new arms, and they also preparing the rest of these other nations that's tired of America's bullshit, you know what I'm saying, with last generation, but still highly affected and technologically advanced, you know what I'm saying? Like Esau's old shit, or well, he's still Esau, but Russia's old shit, you know what I'm saying? The shit that they giving away, the S-400s and shit like that, the S-300, they ain't even really giving away the S-400 right now. But they currently are. That's what we're reading. But nobody really had that. They had the S-125, the S-200, and like the S-300. Syria don't even got. I don't think Syria got the S-400. I think they got like the S-300, some old shit. They go way back. But nevertheless, Russia getting rid of all their old shit so they can unveil their new shit. They old nuclear missiles and shit like that. Like we got a whole new way of launching, baby. We got some new shit. So we read about that. That was in Ezekiel 38, how they preparing themselves. But all these other countries is banding together under Russia's banter and calling America out. All right. So now we're gonna read about basically the destruction of Babylon, what those conglomeration of countries are gonna do to Babylon. All right, America. All right. This is Jeremiah chapter 50. It says, in the word that Yahweh spake against Babylon, against the land of the Chaldeans by Jeremiah the prophet. So Babylon. All right. This Babylon is being spoken about here is basically is America. All right, it says, and you can read about that Revelation chapter 17, Revelation chapter 18. Clear breakdown. It says Jeremiah 50:2. It says, declare ye among the nations and set up a standard, publish and conceal not. Say Babylon is taken, Bel is confounded, Merodach is broken in pieces, her idols are confounded, her images are broken in pieces. All right. So it says declare among the nations. All right, and that's what we do. You know, when we on the weekends, we go out to the highways and the byways, in the midst of all the different nations, in the midst of great people. You know, and we declare amongst all the different nations. You know, basically death to America. America going down. It's gonna be destroyed via thermonuclear missiles by way of Russia and a conglomeration. All right, and most of the time, people just think that we maybe what they call Arabs or terrorists or Muslim. I'm like, nah, we not trying to blow y'all niggas up. We not saying we blowing y'all up. No, 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 no. We telling you, basically, if you turn on the news, all right, the right news, not no CNN is talking about Donald Trump's sex life. You know what I'm saying? But if you turn on the damn news, you'll see that this is what these other countries is threatening your ass with. You know what I'm saying? North Korea and shit like that. This is what they talking about with you. They finna blow your ass up. Death via thermonuclear missiles. And they got the shits. We ain't, us, especially the elect, bro, we ain't got no weapons, especially on no shit like that. We ain't got no, niggas is scared of grenades. You know what I'm saying? They be pulling the back. Like I heard a nigga in a joke say one time, like, talking about, I got all kind of guns and clips, blah, 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 blah. I got 2 grenades, but I'm scared to throw them. You see what I'm saying? It was like a little joke parody video, but that's true all in the spirit, you know? Jake ain't really on no shit like that. So, let alone, we ain't got no weaponry or no might to destroy America, but we prophesying and telling you what the scripture says is going to happen unto Babylon via Russia and a conglomeration of nations. That's what we here breaking down. All right. So it says, declare ye among the nations. That's what we do on the highways and the byways, and publish and set up a standard. So what do we do with these videos? When we upload them on YouTube, we publish them to the 4 corners of the earth on that internet. There's no place from day unto day and night into night. You know, it uttereth his word. You know, basically, what is that? Psalm chapter 50 or Psalms 50. You know, day unto day, night unto night. Let me get it, Slakia. Because, you know, edification is the key, you know. Edification is the key. You know, I believe that if you, you know, sticking around watching these here videos, you watching them for a reason. You know, you want that edification. All right. It's not for Psalms 50. Hold on. Let me see. Where was it? Boom. Psalms 19. The chief musician, to the chief musician, the Psalm of David. The heavens declare the glory of Yahweh, and the firmament showeth his handiworks. All right. I can't think of where that's at, where it says the heavens, the books was opened up, roughly paraphrasing. It's like the books were open and the heavens declared his glory. You know, basically the scriptures was opened up. You know, like when you read in the book of Daniel, all right, the end of the book of Daniel, he tell him what? Seal up this book. It's not for this time, it's for the end. I believe the book of Jeremiah ends that way too, where he was like sealed his book up because you know, he was like sealed his book up and throw it in the river and be like, thus with Babylon. You know what I'm saying? That's how Babylon gonna end. You know what I'm saying? But nevertheless, right now you watching these videos, you know, you watching about what? Via the internet. All right, and now it's a deeper breakdown. How and where these signals going? They going through the air via what? Through the satellites. Where the satellites? In the heavens. All right. So the satellites in the skies, you see what I'm saying? And is broadcasting the Lord's his glory, his wisdom, knowledge, and understanding is being beamed out right now through Esau's technology and his shit he got popping off. You know, it says the heavens declare his glory, declare the glory of Yahweh, and the firmament showeth his handiworks. All right, day unto day uttereth speech, and night unto night knowledge. All right, so just like you know, in the daytimes you have brothers, you know, that are uploading videos every day throughout the day, throughout the weeks. They uploading videos throughout the weeks, you know, every single day. You know, brothers upload on different days or whatever, whatnot. Whenever the spirit hit them to upload a video, they upload a video. You know, most brothers, you know, they work you know, on first shift or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So they uploading videos around, you know, maybe 5 o'clock in the afternoon, you know, after work. You know what I'm saying? Then you have brothers that work second shift. You know what I'm saying? Or into the night. You know what I'm saying? That upload around this time. You see what I'm saying? That work, you know, till, you know, 11, 12 o'clock at night, sometimes in the 3 in the morning. That's why, you know, my videos come up like that, you know, or bright and early in the morning. So when brothers are just waking up, they got fresh words to hear, you know. And then you got brothers on third shift, you know, who get off at like 7 o'clock in the morning and right after work they might want to go shoot a video. You know what I'm saying? So they going up, you got clockwork from, day unto day, night unto night, 24 hours. You got a live line, all right? It says there's no speech nor language where the voice is not heard. Their line has gone out through all the earth, their words to the end of the world, and them have he set a tabernacle for the sun. All right, and that's the house of David, basically. And that's gonna be the dwelling place where Yahweh's spirit is gonna be dwelling. All right, that's where it's gonna be with the men that's basically pushing out his word day unto day, night unto night. All right, he told Peter, he said, if you love me, feed my sheep. All right, you got to feed them 24 hours a day because it's a whole big mass flock, and they hungry, they starving. In fact, they was a valley of dry bones, bro. You got to fatten them back up, bro. They starving. You see what I'm saying? And they hungry 24 hours a day, so you got to feed them 24 hours a day, But not you personally like that. The Most High have everybody's situation set up different, different ways, That was one of the things I learned in this through the Spirit, Maybe the reason I'm working on the shift that I'm working on and doing this is, hey, like the scriptures say, day and a day, night and a night. Somebody got to fulfill that prophecy, It says there's no speech nor language where their voice is not heard. All right, and I went and did a video about this. This is talking about the gospel being preached unto the four corners of the earth. Then the end shall come. All right, via what? The YouTube, the internet. We're not flying from place to place, but I can, go on the app and show you that, not bragging or boasting, because we don't have that spirit on us for one. And I don't actually get a lot of views on a lot of my videos, but a lot of the views that I do get, are from outside of the country. Countries, I ain't never been outside the country. So, all countries, apply to this, so all these countries I ain't never been to, you know what I'm saying? People I don't even know in these countries, they watching these videos. These videos is going there, and they got something where they can translate the video if they don't speak that language, so they can get this here word. And the scriptures also say, my sheep hears my voice, and they do follow. All right. So verse 3 again, it says there's no speech nor language where their voice is not heard. Their line has gone out through all the earth, their words to the ends of the world. In them have he set a tabernacle for the sun. All right. Jump down to verse 5, which is as a bridegroom coming out of his chamber and rejoice as a strong man to run a race. And yet that's what we doing. We like a strong man to run a race, man. He got that endurance, man. He can keep going, He like, damn, he's still pumping. Yeah, man, that's how we are with this truth, man. We still going, day unto day, night unto night, weekend after weekend. You know what I'm saying? That's what we do. We push hard unto the end. All right. Verse 6, his going forth is from the end of the heaven. All right. And his circuit unto the ends of it. And there is nothing hid from the heat thereof. Exactly true with this here scripture, man. These scriptures go out on the internet from one end of the heaven to the other end of the heaven. There's no place where this internet is hid from. In today's times, and with Esau ruling, especially with this mark of the beast system he trying to get, if you actually understand the whole system he trying to go for, had a whole planet, under one global tracking system, he already got it set up to where all this communication is already communicating all the way around the world. So when we put these videos up, we don't got to go door to door to people in Saudi Arabia or wherever these videos go. They just be in their own home, and this word is being heard right there in the comfort of their own home or wherever they at, in their own respective country. And again, they got the translate button or the translator on there to translate the word. All right. So, we ain't got to go nowhere. It's all through the spirit, So it says the law of Yahweh is perfect, converting the soul. The testimony of Yahweh is sure, making the wise simple. All right. And like I did, in that last little cut video about, you hid this from the wise and from the prudent, but gave this unto babes, the babes that will humble themselves down to hearken first of all, let go their old man, and humble down and learn and understand what was really at hand. All right. So going back, we were reading Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 2. It says, declare ye among the nations. And again, that's what we out here doing. All right. And like, again, with the same with these videos, it says, and publish and set up a standard, publish and conceal not. All right. And again, that's how cold and how deep the Most High is, man. It says Babylon is taken, Bel is confounded, Murdoch is broken in pieces, her idols are confounded, her images are broken in pieces. That's going right into this here lesson, series of lessons. That's what we going into. Like, yo, man, America is done. They finished, They CTD, they circling the drain, you know what I mean? They about to go down, and we just prophesying their downfall, you know what I'm saying? And that's what we doing. We declaring and we publishing this. We setting up that standard, all right? The Most High's word is the standard. That's what's going to happen. Well, who going to rule next? What's going to happen? No, we're going to go on forever. We're going to make America great again. Now the Most High said we would have healed Babylon, but Babylon is not healed. So the Most High word is the standard. That's what's gonna play. That's what we're gonna go by. That's the script. You see what I'm saying? It says, for out of the north there cometh up a nation against her, and that north country is what? Russia. All right. It says, which shall make her land desolate, and none shall dwell therein. They shall remove, and they shall depart, both man and beast. All right. Talking about those thermonuclear missiles dropping down, but anytime that you actually read through the scriptures about basically like Babylon being taken, and Babylon falling, it's always about this country from the north, all right, or this great company of nations, all right. Why they always keep talking about that like that, And Babylon with Nebuchadnezzar, that they didn't fall like that. They would just basically walked in. We read about it in the scriptures, with what was his name, Shalmaneser, and the handwriting on the wall. You see what I'm saying? That if you understand that little story right there, like that was the day that his kingdom was taken, and they just walked right on in there and took the kingdom. You see what I'm saying? They didn't get taken over and shit like that. They was made tributary, So when you talk about this Babylon falling, it's falling at the hands of what? Russia, Gog and Magog, that great country out of the north, all right? It says, for out of the north there cometh up a nation against her, which shall make her land desolate, and none shall dwell therein. They shall remove, they shall depart, both man and beast. For in those days and in that time, saith Yahweh, the children of Israel shall come, and they and the children of Judah together, going and weeping, and they shall go and seek Yahweh their power. And that's the days that we living in, man. For like a prime example, me for myself, and pretty much every single brother in this truth, man. We was doing whatever we was doing in our life. We was basically niggas in our life. We was all like that. We was all Sauls that converted to Pauls, but we wasn't even really on the Saul level, because we probably wasn't even dealing with nothing with the truth, or scriptures at all. We was just doing whatever in our life, But then, nevertheless, the Most High, basically Ezekiel 37, all right, it was the Valley of Dry Bones. He woke us up, all right? And then once we woke up, we understood what had happened. We understood that we broke the covenants and the law, statutes, and commandments that we received from the Most High, all right? And we was sorrowful, and we was remorseful, we was repentful, all right? And now we came back, we trying to come back and serve the Lord in righteousness, all right? Like how they say in the world, it was the least I could do. I know I fucked up. The least I could have did, I know I fucked up and ate your last cookie. The least I could have did was put it back, or or I hit your car. The least I could have did was that, not to even say the least that we could have did. Well, I guess that would be the proper term. The least we could have did was this. This is our reasonable service. This is what we should be doing. We should be remorseful. All right. So this is why we coming back weeping. All right. That's why we coming together. Like it's Ezekiel 37 as well. 2 sticks. We came back together. Oh man, we sorry about that bullshit. We sorry to our brothers and our peoples, and also to the Most High first and foremost. It says, Verse 5, and they shall ask the way to Zion with their faces thitherward, saying, come, let us join ourselves to Yahweh in perpetual covenant, that we shall not be forgotten. Same, like I just said, same thing we going through now, and brothers that might be watching these videos and coming back, they coming into the truth, man, I know something ain't right, but then they find the truth, then they, they get broken, they get humbled by the Most High, because they realize they done fucked up and went off, and they're like, well, what can I do to get right, what can I do to get right? And the Most High said, come back and serve me. Serve me with your whole heart, love me with your whole heart, and just serve me, stand before me in righteousness, keep my commandments. All right. It says, my people have been lost sheep. Their shepherds have caused them to go astray. They have turned them away on mountain. They have gone from mountain to hill. They have forgotten their resting place. And that's a real deep, sad, script right there. You know what I'm saying? That's some real deep cutting shit, because when we read the scriptures, mountains and hills represents bodies of nations, sometimes governments, well, really bodies of nations, and even into this day, the governments represent what? The summits or the peaks, that's why they have a summit meeting. All right, the top of the mountain, they meet together. And who's the top of the mountain? The governments are the ruling class, people that rules over that nation. All right, and so, but here's talking about Israel as a whole nation, not to say per se the elites like the priests and the kings, not to just say them, but the whole nation itself. All right, it says that they have turned them away on the mountains. They have gone from mountain to hill. All right, so now visualize that. All right, we know that this is a metaphor, of a mountain and a hill, but if you visualize it, all right, as an actual mountain and an actual hill, all right, and do a compare contrast. What's the similitudes, or what do they have in common? What do they don't have in common? All right, what are they lacking? Okay, well, a mountain is big as fuck, and a hill, a hill could really be any size. You know what I'm saying? But at a certain time, a certain size, it's no longer a hill. You know what I'm saying? You can have a little bitty hill that you know, is at a real incline that it might hurt your legs to pedal up a bike, up the hill, or you might be on a small little hill or a small little incline that, you know what I'm saying, if let's say you put a skateboard on there, it might not even roll down it, or you could have a small little hill where kids might roll down a hill, for fun. Let's roll down the hill or slide down the hill for fun. We'll get a little cardboard box and slide down the hill. All right, that's not so bad. But compare that to a mountain. You wouldn't want your kids sliding down a mountain on no cardboard box, right? Why not? What would happen? They would probably die. You feel what I'm saying? They got a lot of sharp edges. It's real hard, and so on and so forth. It's big, strong, and rugged and durable. A hill is just a little flat. It's just a hill. And so you think of those two as a comparison, an actual mountain versus a hill, like Mount St. Helen, or Mount Everest. All right, and then you think about that little bitty hill that's in your grandmama's front yard. You know what I'm saying? That's out front with the little ditch. You know what I'm saying? That y'all used to jump on y'all bikes. You see what I'm saying? That little bitty hill, or y'all used to slide down the cardboard box. All right, now you visualize those as actual items, a mountain and a hill. But then that's the comparison to Israel. We went from being that strong ass mountain that you don't want to roll down. All right, or if you need protection, you want to go hide inside, or like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't really worried about too much of shit. If shit was to pop off, you be kind of protected by that mountain. And in that mountain, you can get all kind of different things up off the mountain, from vegetation, food, water, warmth, shelter, and also coolness being up at the top of the mountain. Whereas a hill is just a little plain Jane ass little hill, bro. We're gonna take our kids, we're gonna slide down this bitch with a cardboard box. All right, it's just whatever. We're gonna just play on it. We don't want to play around with no mountain though. All right, so that's the analogy with Israel. We went from that strong, glorious nation before the Most High and the rest of these nations to the scoff for the whole goddamn planet. All right, a proverb and a byword and astonishment. All right, verse 7, it says, all that found them have devoured them, and their adversaries said, we offend not, because they have sinned against Yahweh, the habitation of justice, even Yahweh, the hope of their fathers. So because we sinned against the Most High, broke the covenant, all right, they just scoffing at us, and they're like, nah, we ain't really going off. And true enough, so they're not really going off, you know what I'm saying? Because the Most High said that would be our punishment, all right? It says, remove out of Babylon and go forth out of the land of the Chaldeans, and be as the he goes before the flocks. For lo, I will raise up and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country. And we read that again in Ezekiel 38, where it says, Gog and Magog, or Gog, the chief prince of Gog, the prince of Magog, he gonna basically roll up, or basically he's gonna get the hooks in his jaw first and foremost, bringing him back to his Soviet state, where he was a massive conglomeration of nations. All right, then he gonna also, it said, him and a whole company of nations with him, Persia, Libya, Egypt, and all these other nations with him, all with all sorts of armors, bucklers, and shields, all handling the sword. All right, so, and then it said also, prepare thyself and the great company with thee. All right, so that's talking about the conglomeration of the Russian nations. All right, so but here it says, I will cause to come up against Babylon. Verse 9, Jeremiah 50:9 says, for lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations. All right, so there's going to be Russia, which is going to be the forefront, all right, along with China, which is another great nation, along with all these other nations. All right, it says from the north country, which is Russia, and they shall set themselves in array against her. And that's what you see as the only real country that's really out there in the forefront, is going head to head with America. None of the other countries, like Syria, is not as a country so-called going at America as a country. All right, the beef is with the American government and Bashar al-Assad as a person. Ain't got shit to do with his country. You know what I'm saying? That's why you don't see a conflict between our military and their military. That's not really popping off like that. You see what I'm saying? And same with I guess you would say North Korea, right? That's just, I guess, a little bit. It's kind of with their countries, but it's not necessarily a real, how do I say, a real beef. But nevertheless, you know what I'm saying? Once these all these treaties get broken, and all the the water start bubbling and or boiling, everything starts steaming and the kettle start going off, you know what I'm saying? When it's time to blow, man, all these different nations, they gonna wind up gathering up under Russia's wing, all right, and they gonna all take their military might and just aim it all over here to settle all their problems. It says, they shall set themselves in array against her, from thence she shall be taken, all right, and that's going into those ICBM missiles, all right. It says from the north country, Babylon was gonna be taken, all right. So, and it says here from thence, from where? The north country. So how the hell is Babylon going to be taken from the north country, especially in their times? You see what I'm saying? They didn't have the technology that we have, you know what I'm saying, or the weaponry that we have. But nowadays you have this new wave of technology is what? Intercontinental ballistic missiles, all right, from one continent to another continent. America can shoot their nukes. They got nukes here in America. They would launch here from America that can hit the other side of the globe. You see what I'm saying? It says, then shall she be taken, the arrow shall be as the mighty expert man, none shall return in vain. All right, so, like how they say, the mighty expert man. So imagine back in their times, the men of war. All the men on the battlefield, they was all basically on the battlefield. You had horse and chariot riders, but other than that, they was all basically on the battlefield fighting the war. Those would be the mighty men. But in this modern day war, you're not going to really have, you got soldiers still in the war, but you're going to have other men actually fighting the war. All right, to take out this people's defense system. It's not going to be a bunch of men running up trying to tear down the wall. No, what is going to happen is one side going to be trying to shoot missiles. Let's say America, right? This is what we're going into these scriptures. America going to try to use a stealth version of the F-35 fighter jet to go beneath the damn radar of Russia's S-400 system and bomb the shit out of their S-400 system and sneak in with the rest of their B-52 bombers and shit and just carpet bomb the fuck out of Russia. That's their plan of what they want to do. But they got to sneak up under this here radar to be able to go do this shit, to take out the radar system so they can get the rest of their shit through there. All right. So, but it's like I said, back in the old days, what you would have was a bunch of men climbing on ladders, trying to climb over the wall, breach the wall, open the door to actually do this with actual men. But nowadays they have weapons and technology. They're going to use planes, drones, cruise missiles, ICBM missiles to actually fight the war. So to take out these, let's say, missile defense systems, to take out military bases or runways and things like that, what is America going to use? The same thing they're using now. They use their bombs. Boom, from thence. Just like we seen, well, it wasn't from here, though, but America attacked Syria on a runway and stuff, right? Donald Trump did, right? We wasn't here in America bombing them, doing that. I think we was out in, I want to say the Persian Gulf and sent in them cruise missiles, from a far distance and still hit them over there. But nevertheless, oh man, what was that? But nevertheless, they came from, one location to a whole nother location and dropped down on them. All right. They was the ones actually fighting the war. The missiles and the bombs was actually fighting the war and breaching the walls, not actual men themselves. It's a whole new type of warfare that the Most High is describing in these scriptures. All right. You have to think about it in 8 times. And if that was feasible, or if what they talking about now can only make sense if it was talking about in today's times, all right? They ain't had no arrows back in those days. They can shoot from one land, from the north country, Russia, all right, all the way to Babylon, all right? And this time, they didn't even understand which Babylon they was talking about, all right? Because like I said, their Babylon didn't get taken like this by the north country. But Jeremiah thought he was talking about might have thought he was talking about the Babylon he was living in. You see what I'm saying? But really, they was talking about Babylon the Great, all right? It says, in Chaldea shall be a spoil, and all that spoil her shall be satisfied, saith Yahweh. Because you were glad, because you rejoiced, O daughters of my inheritance, because you are grown fat, as the heifer is grass, and bellows as bulls. Yeah, America's all super proud and reigning over the earth and just shitting on everybody else. You got world hunger going on, and America's over here got all you can eat buffets and throwing out food every 5-10 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Little Caesar's throwing out pizzas after 15 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Hold on, we can't get this to nobody. But there's a bunch of homeless people that eat that shit. Most Jake, they'll heat some pizza up 2-3 days later and eat the shit out the refrigerator. What you mean? You gonna just throw the shit away? It says, your mother shall be sore confounded. She that bare you shall be ashamed. Behold, the hindermost of the nations shall be a wilderness, a dry land, and a desert. It says, because the wrath of Yahweh, it shall not be inhabited, but it shall be wholly desolate. Everyone that goeth by Babylon shall be astonished and hiss at her plagues. And again, that didn't happen in ancient Babylon. All right, people was living in Iraq to this day. All right, you can still see, I believe, 1 or 2 of the palaces that was actually up in those days. Like, I believe the what they call Saddam, one of Saddam's palaces, the palace with the handwriting on the walls is on there. You have to just look up the history of that. And then like the ziggurat, you know what I'm saying, which is like the Hanging Gardens, you know what I'm saying? That's what the hell that shit is over there, you know, from ancient times, you know. And they have a lot of those paintings and the pictures. Well, they got them in museums and shit now, but they had the paintings and the pictures. Babylon was still sitting there, you know. It wasn't really sacked like that and wasn't hijacked like that until modern times, you know. 2011 and shit, or 2001 after that. America hijacked a lot of shit over there, you know. But nevertheless, it says, put yourselves, verse 14, put yourselves in array against Babylon, all you that bend the bow. Shoot at her, spare no arrows, for she have sinned against Yahweh. So it says, it says, put yourselves in array against Babylon. That's why you see in these articles, all these nations is going head to head with America. All right. It says, put yourselves in array against Babylon round about. All y'all team up and circle this broad. All right. All you that bend the bow. So all the ones that's got this military technology that's getting these new weapons and arms, especially thermonuclear missiles, ICBM missiles, you know, or just, Russia's about to be in the market of selling hypersonic missiles and nuclear powered cruise missiles. You see what I'm saying? Which is a smaller payload than a nuke. But shit, if you got a nuclear power, bro, you can be raining missiles indefinite for, and they be flying for indefinite, orbiting the earth for a while, you know what I'm saying? They come hit your ass, But nevertheless, it says, stand ye round about her. Salakia. Verse 14, put yourselves in array against Babylon round about, all you that bend the bow. Shoot at her, spare no arrows, for she has sinned against Yahweh. So don't spare no missiles. No missiles is going to be left on the shelf after this here war. Every single missile that's ever been produced that's still on this planet Earth, in this here war, they're going to all be shot all over here on America. All right? Every last one of them. You know what I'm saying? Duds and all. The duds going to get the spirit of the Lord on them in that day, and they're going to fly right along, and they ain't going to break rank, and they ain't going to miss. All right? It says, verse 15, shout against her round about. And that's what we're reading in these stories. In the news articles, what's your boy name is? Rodrigo Duterte. Who are you to tell us to do this and do that with our own shit, bro? It says, shout against her round about. She has given her hand. Her foundations are fallen. Her walls are thrown down. For it is the vengeance of Yahweh. Take vengeance upon her as she had done, do unto her. So basically pay her back. All that crazy shit that you remember that America was doing to your country. When America came and ransacked your shit and pillaged all your shit. You know what I'm saying? When America was over there raping your women and doing all that crazy shit, go ahead and do it unto her, It says, cut off the sword from Babylon and him that handled the sickle. And in the time of the harvest, for the fear of the oppressing sword, they shall turn everyone to his people, and they shall flee everyone to his own land. That's what you're starting to see now, like the scriptures also say in Revelation chapter 17, kind of at the bottom where it says, what verse is that? Verse 19, I think it is, where it says, let me just grab it for edification's sake. I think it's verse 19, not 19, 16. Yeah. It says, the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and they shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. So, getting into this here deal, Slacky, hold tight. So, getting into this here deal, about the 10 horns. The 10 horns is basically it's the beast that the great whore is sitting upon, all right, which is NATO and the EU, all right, America's allies, which you're starting to see them hating the whore, all right. And that's where you see here, it says, cut off the sword from Babylon. This Jeremiah 50 and 16 says, cut off the sword from Babylon and him that handleth the sickle in the time of the harvest. For fear of the oppressing sword, they shall turn everyone to his people, and they shall flee everyone to his own land. So these countries is getting up off of this NATO trip and breaking ties with America because they realize that, hey man, it's about to be a heavy war going down, and we don't want to be on the wrong side. If shit hit the fan and fall down, we closer to Russia. We better off dealing with Russia than dealing with, America on the other side, who ain't really got us in their best agenda. All right, let me jump down. It says, Verse 22, it says, How's a sound of the battle is in the land and of great destruction. All right. Not only are we on the highways and the byways and on the internet pushing out these videos telling you, look, death is coming to America. Y'all about to get wiped out with thermonuclear missiles. Not only are we telling you that, but the news is telling you that. Every day in the news, they telling you the same thing. All right. So it's just crying out unto you. All right. That's the sound of the battle in the land. All right. Verse 23, it says, How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How has Babylon become a desolation among the nations? All right, so this is kind of like a rhetorical, not a rhetorical question, but this is one of those type of questions where it's like, how is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder? All right, it's saying like, listen, you the hammer of the whole earth. Like, what does a hammer do? It breaks in pieces, it smashes, it destroys. All right, it could also build up. You know, you could build up with a hammer, but in the most pieces, you take a sledgehammer into a glass house, you're gonna be smashing some shit down. You know what I'm saying? But nevertheless, um, but nevertheless, man, there's some Edomites right there up to no good, and the police just gonna ride right past their ass. It's their kingdom, but hey, continuing on, the hammer of the earth, you know, if it was in a glass house, it would just sit there and devour. So that's basically like, you know, the earth is the glass house, and America's that's big sledgehammer, just going through the whole earth, beating it into powders, you know. Like Isaiah 14 says, is this the man that did weakest the nations, you know, which did basically make the whole earth desolate, you know. So it says, how is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder? How has Babylon become a desolation among the nations? And they asking the question like, how did Babylon fall? You the shit, nigga. Like, what? Wait a minute. You know what I mean? It says, I have laid a snare for thee. Thou art also taken, O Babylon. Thou was not aware. Thou art found and caught because thou hast striven against Yahweh. So this is that trick bag, you know, I always refer to Esau getting caught in a trick bag, you know. Most I said I laid a snare for you or a trap for you, you know. And the scripture also said the pride of thy heart has deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, you know. Esau think he got it going good with his witchcraft and his witchcraft and sorcery and stuff like that, and his so-called wisdom and my military technology and his sword and him believing in his sword. He just caught up in his whole pride, you know, almost proud, you know, the Most High is against thee, you know. But he caught up in all of that his own arm gonna save him, that he's like the Most High. He ain't gonna fall. Who shall bring me down to the ground? You know, he feeling this type of way, but the Most High say, look, I got you blinded, bro. You just don't even know you surrounded right now. You know, you Scarface, right, in the house, snorting all that cocaine, being deceived, not even knowing that Sosa came with that real shit, got your shit surrounded. You over here, come on. You think you could take me? Not knowing Sosa right behind your ass with that 12 gauge, talking all that shit, right? You're like, bro, you in that, hey. That was just the first wave, homie. You see what I'm saying? It says, verse 24. I have laid a snare for thee. Thou art also taken, O Babylon. Thou was not aware. Thou art found and also caught because thou hast striven against Yahweh. And another thing, how are the things that Esau sought out, you know? How is Esau being exposed right now? You know, his F-35 ain't nothing but a bunch of bullshit. Giving more strength and power to these other nations not to want to buy America's old bullshit and buy Russia's quality shit, you know, and because it's going to be their strength in this war, you know. And also the spirit and the power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua is on these kings, directing their minds and to make these moves, because he know, like the scriptures say, they got to line up, you know. This word ain't coming back void. He know what it's going to be in the end times. He just he directing the minds of these kings, all right. It says, verse 25, Yahweh hath opened his armory and hath brought forth the weapons of his indignation, for this is the work of Yahweh, power of hosts, in the land of Chaldea. All right. So it's kind of funny and ironic about this snare, this trap that the Most High got going on for Esau. And right after he talking about this, basically what we would know is thermonuclear weapons, ICBM missiles, you know, thermonuclear death for Esau, you know, the lake of fire, you know. But see, it's ironic. He keep talking about the same thing over and over and over again. That's how we know that these scriptures all link up, you know. Babylon going to be burned with fire, utterly wasted, not inhabited again. It's going to be a total desolation, the lake of fire, you know. But what can do that? These from thence it's going to be taken from the north country. Babylon going to be taken. So it's going to go from one country to another country, or let alone one continent to another continent. And it's going to wholly burn up and make whole the whole landmass, desolate the whole landmass. All right. Only thing that's on par with that is thermonuclear missiles. All right. And that's how we know. And that's as you see Russia's testing and improving and upgrading they weaponry. All right. Verse 26, come up against her from the utmost border, open her storehouse, cast her up as heaps, and destroy her utterly, let nothing be left. Again, further going into the depictions of these thermonuclear missiles when you say all you archers stand round about and shoot at her, and the ammo you're gonna be shooting at her gonna make her whole land desolate. All right, nothing gonna be left. Verse 27: slay all her bullock, let them go down to the slaughter. Woe unto them, for their day has come, the time of their visitation. So this is gonna be the time when basically it's gonna everything here gonna wind up laying down in the dust. Everything gonna be put down. All right, it says the voice of them that flee the voice of them that flee and escape out of the land of Babylon, declare in Zion the vengeance of Yahweh our power and the vengeance of the temple. All right, and that's talking about Lord, on the part of that number, the elect. That's what we doing right now on these videos. We prophesying about all this and that, but in that day, according to Ezekiel 9:4, all right, in Revelation chapter 7, all right, where they talk about the ones that was sighing and crying on the highways and the byways, give them that seal. All right, and the ones in Revelation 7 that was going to be saved is the ones with that seal that was out on the highways and the byways prophesying. All right, that's the same thing. That's going to be the ones here that's going to be delivered. So it says the voice of them that flee that flee and escape out of the land of Babylon, because ain't nobody going to flee and escape out of Babylon. All right, everybody going to get put to death here. If you living before this time or living at this point in time, because you might die of famine, race wars, or whatever, whatnot. But if you're here to the thermonuclear missiles, your ass is grass. All right, save the elect. All right, that's what we read about in Revelation 7 and Ezekiel 9:4. All right, it says and in heaven, with the kingdom of heaven, we're gonna be rejoicing and speaking about this. All right, verse 29, it says, call together the archers against Babylon, and that's these other nations coming together, being prepared by Russia. All ye that bend the bow, camp against it round about, let none thereof escape. Recompense her according to her works, according to all that she have done, do unto her, for she have been proud against Yahweh and the Holy One of Israel. So it's like, listen, all y'all stand round about her, all y'all come down with y'all missiles, rain down on America, empty y'all whole stock. As she done to y'all, go back into your history. Hiroshima, Nagasaki. Remember that in Japan when they just aimlessly bombed innocent civilians out of the midst of nowhere? They didn't give them no time, no nothing to try to shelter themselves, and they just bombarded all these or bombed these innocent so-called innocent civilians, doing it to America the same way. Y'all had atomic weapons doing that to people, but we're gonna hit y'all with thermonuclear weapons. All right, and ain't nothing you're gonna be able to do about it. All right, your civilian populations is gonna be grass, just like that movie Terminator 2 with Sarah's dream. Man, I believe wherever she was at up north, all that shit was just turned to the lake of fire. All right, verse 30. Therefore shall her young men fall in the streets, and all her young men of war shall be cut off in that day, saith Yahweh. So, any of you jakes in this military, hey, once you get deployed, bro, you're not coming back. Thus saith the scriptures. All of the ones that's in Esau's military is going to die by the sword, all right? Over there, wherever they at over there, they ain't coming back, all right? But over here, if you, if, I ain't going to say if you lucky enough to make it to the damn missiles, that's going to be your judge. If you misfortunate enough, unlucky enough, cursed enough to damn make it to the damn missiles, your ass is going to be thermonuclear fucking lunch food. All right, except for the elect. All right, in the 1/3. All right, it says, verse 31. It says, behold, I am against thee, most proud, saith Yahweh of hosts, for thy day is come, the time that I will visit thee, and the most proud shall stumble and fall, and none shall raise him up, and I will kindle a fire in the cities, and shall devour all round about him. So when Esau go to fall, he ain't gonna have no allies to help him up. Ain't nobody gonna help defend him. All right, and that's why we also read in Revelation 17 about the beast starting to hate the horde. All right, he not gonna have no allies in this point in time. They gonna all be shooting missiles over here. Why they gonna help? The niggas out the fire that they just bombed his house. Nah, we're not trying to help you, nigga. We trying to blow your ass up. That's how we helping you. Help me help you by taking you out of here. Save you from your own goddamn self. All right. It says, let me see. Verse 35, a sword is upon the Chaldeans, saith Yahweh, and upon the inhabitants of Babylon, and upon her princes, and upon her wise men. All right. So, hey, that's these Babylonians here. They about to get slaughtered here, invasion, race wars, martial law. All right. And ultimately thermonuclear warfare. It says, a sword is upon the liars, they that dote, a sword is upon her mighty men, and they shall be dismayed, And, hey, these other Edomites going to be putting that sword off on Esau. You know what I'm saying? Laying them down. A sword is upon their horses and upon their chariots and upon all the mingled people that are in the midst of her, and they shall become his woman, and the sword upon her treasures as if she be robbed. All right. And so Again, though hand joined in hand, the wicked shall not go unpunished. So if you in Esau's military and you Jake, you know what I'm saying, your ass on his grass, your ass dying with his ass out there, you know. And the same likewise, with just the rest of the people in his military, all these other heathen. If you over here in America's shit, your ass is going down right there with their ass, It says, and they shall become as a woman, as sword is upon her treasures, and they shall be robbed, So they shall be as a woman afraid. Here's the analogy. Imagine, let's say, Beyonce, for instance, is walking around, no bodyguards, and some goon ass nigga just roll up on her and put the pump to the face one time, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, break yourself, bitch, run your shit, you know what I'm saying? And she's trembling. Oh my gosh, you can have everything, She's trembling and shaking, you know what I'm saying? Because you got that sword to your neck. That's how the so-called mighty men of Babylon is going to be in that day. They're going to have that sword to their neck when they see these thermonuclear missiles raining down on their ass, and when they at the battlefront, and they trying to give it to Russia, and they lose, and they got the lower hand, They seen their allies all turn from them. Hey man, they gonna be as that woman with like Beyonce with the pump to her face, the Mossberg pump to her face. She gonna be like, oh shit, I got caught lacking. I ain't got my security. I ain't got shit. Blah blah blah. It's just, look, I gotta give him the shit or I'm through. And basically the thing that Esau got over here got to give up is his blood and his life. All right. It says, drought is upon her waters, and they shall be droughted, for it is the land of graven images, and they are mad upon their idols. Therefore the wild beasts in the desert, and the wild beasts of the island shall dwell there, and the owl shall dwell therein, and there shall be no more. It shall be no more inhabited, neither shall it be dwelled from generation to generation. And that's how we know it's not in Iraq. All right, even though that is actually like where like Babylon, one of the Babylon locations of Babylon was. All right, but that's not the same Babylon. All right, because you got Iraqis living there now. All right, it says, as Yahweh overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah and the neighboring cities thereof, saith Yahweh, shall no man abide there, and neither shall the Son of Man dwell therein. All right, and there ain't no landmass that's on the face of the earth that any man know about, that don't no man dwell on, except for, like we just read, Sodom and Gomorrah and the neighboring cities. All right, so this ain't took place yet, so it ain't over here in the Middle East. It's talking about this here land right here in America. All right, it says, behold, the people shall come from the north, all right, Russia, and a great nation, all right, the conglomeration, and many kings shall be raised up from the coast of the earth. All right, that's basically talking about, hey, if you America and whatever allies that don't want to turn on America, basically America and Israel gonna be left out to dry. All right, and they shall hold the bow and the lance, and they are cruel and will not show mercy. All right, and that bow and the lance talking about these thermonuclear missiles and all the other armaments. All right, and they ain't gonna show no mercy. Why? Because Hiroshima and Nagasaki. You think Japan gonna show some mercy, bro? They're gonna be like, I can't wait to be the first one just to see what it look like to let a thermonuclear missile off on civilization, human population, mass population on some niggas in a football stadium or some shit. See them niggas just melt in the back of their seat instantly. White flash at kickoff, boom. Them Ammonites, them Japanese people dying to see that. They dying to pay you back. It says, they shall hold the bow and the lance, and they are cruel and will not show mercy. Their voice shall roar like the sea, and they shall ride upon horses, every one put in array, like a man to the battle against thee, O daughter of Babylon. Further going into those missiles, they're going to go in like a man to array. Like back in the day, you had men walking in the ranks of the military, they falling in. Like today, they got formations that they marching, but back in the days, they had battle formations. Today, it's going to be the same way, but it's going to be with these nuclear missiles, all right? You look at the trajectory rates of these missiles and where they stationed at and so on and so forth. In the past, they would be taken, you know what I'm saying? They're going to be just the same way in different formations. These missiles crossing different paths so they don't so-called collide with each other, all right? It says, verse 43, the king of Babylon has heard the report of them, and his hands are waxed feeble. Anguish took hold of him, and pains of a woman in travail. Basically like what Donald Trump is going through right now, tripping over these other nations, trying to buy Russian shit because he's seen his allies jumping ship. Let me just finish it off. It says, behold, he shall come up like a lion from the swelling of Jordan unto the habitation of the strong, but I will make them suddenly run away from her. And who is a chosen man that I might appoint over her? For who is like me, and who will appoint me the time, and who is the shepherd that will stand before me? All right, we know that's Yahushua. When Yahushua return to come bring this destruction. All right, therefore hear ye the counsel of Yahweh. He hath taken it against Babylon. All right, so the Most High's plan is against Babylon, and his purpose is that and his purpose that he hath purposed against the land of the Chaldeans. All right, this is what he purposed against basically America. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. And the least of the flock that's going to draw them out is who? Israel. All right, we always following along, picking up they slack, bullying whoever they say bullying. All right, it says, surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them. All right, so a quick little example of that is Israel is over there tripping and fucking with Iran, right? So Israel might just go and make a preemptive strike on Iran because they bombing some of their property anyway, They might go make a preemptive strike on Iran, But then Iran might go and make a retaliation strike on Israel, all right? And now, let's just say Iran is wounded, right? Israel strike Iran is wounded. Now Russia got a military pact, same with Syria, got a military pact with Iran. If one of them is attacked, they're gonna all come to aid. Same with America with NATO. If one of them is attacked, they all come to their aid. So Israel attacks Iran is wounded, Russia come in to help. Russia and Syria come in to help to retaliate against Israel. Israel is wounded, so America step up. Now you boom, World War III. All right, the least of them is gonna draw them out. The least of the flock gonna draw them out. All right, it says, therefore hear the counsel of Yahweh. Oh, we just read that. Verse 46. At the noise of the taking of Babylon, the earth is moved, and the cry is heard among the nations. All right, that's talking about those thermonuclear missiles dropping down. All right, the earth going to reel and shake and be moved out of her place. All right, and then the merchants standing far off, they're going to be weeping and wailing, for all the smoke and the torment of Babylon. All right, it's going to be a worldwide televised event, man. It's going to be the basically like the worst shit the world has ever seen all at one point in time. The worst mass death that the world has seen all at one point in time. All right. So we're going to go ahead and close out with this here portion of this here lesson. Is way longer than I expected. But, all through the spirit, hey, we had to push forth, break down this edification. Because that's the new, not the new thing, but that's back to the basics. We doing this thing for edification. So with that, Lord willing, this here lesson was edifying. Till next time, I say, Call Halal Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shah, Bahashim, Rakah Kadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders that great millstone that taught me this truth and that rule well. And salutation and much love for all you Akim pushing this truth and sincerity for edification's sake, and pushing truth, to edify. All right. And enduring afflictions. Stay strong. Shalom.